Long ago, before the sun's promise was certain, shadows stretched longer than dawn itself. In the hush of night, whispers drifted across the skies, like secrets carried by gentle winds. They spoke of a sword, not of iron, not of war, but of light that could awaken the sleeping world. It was called the Sword of Dawn, a gift said to rise with the first morning and calm restless hearts. Legends told that whoever found it would not conquer, but would learn the language of hope. In a quiet land where rivers shone like silver threads, there lived a seeker named Athena. She was not searching for power, nor for crowns, but for meaning hidden within the horizon. Athena listened closely when others turned away, for her spirit trusted the voice of silence. One evening, as lanterns flickered across her village, she heard a call soft as starlight. The call spoke of a path winding through forgotten places, waiting for the brave of heart. She did not know what awaited, but she felt the pull, as though the dawn itself needed her. And so, with steady breath and quiet courage, Athena began her journey toward the light. The night was quiet, and the stars seemed brighter than before, watching the world with patient eyes. Athena walked along a narrow path, her steps soft upon the earth, guided by the rhythm of her heart. The village behind her faded into silence, leaving only the sound of crickets singing to the moon. She held no map, no lantern, only trust in the mysterious voice that had whispered from the sky. It had spoken gently, like a secret meant only for her, carrying a promise of light yet unseen. The words had lingered in her mind. Follow where the silence bends, for the dawn is waiting. Athena did not fully understand, yet the pull inside her soul was stronger than her questions. Each step she took seemed to echo softly, as though the earth itself recognized her journey. The trees swayed above her, their leaves shimmering as if the stars had spilled upon their branches. And then, in the stillness, she heard it again, a whisper drifting between the spaces of night. The voice was not loud, but clear, weaving into her thoughts like a melody made of silver. "Athena," it called. "Beyond the fields, beyond the rivers, the sword of dawn awaits your heart." She stopped for a moment, pressing her hand to her chest, steadying the beat within. Never before had her name sounded so tender, so full of promise, spoken by something unseen. She breathed deeply, feeling both the weight and wonder of the journey that lay before her. The fields stretched ahead, golden even under moonlight, like waves frozen beneath a silver tide. Fireflies danced among the grass, their glow flickering softly, as though guiding her onward. She followed their light, each flicker like a breadcrumb placed upon the canvas of night. The air was cool, carrying the scent of wildflowers and the distant murmur of running water. It was there she realized she was not walking alone, for the world itself moved with her. Every sound seemed alive. The rustle of grass, the whisper of wind, the hum of unseen wings, all of it joined together, forming a gentle chorus that accompanied her quiet steps. Her thoughts drifted to the legends she had heard as a child, spoken beside fires in her village. The elders would tell of a sword hidden where light and shadow touched but never battled. They said the sword was not for war, but for awakening, the dawn's first gift to humankind. She had always listened closely, even when the other children laughed and chased the stories away. Now those tales rose within her like stars returning to the sky, more real than ever before. She wondered if the voice she heard was the same one that long ago had guided the first sunrise. Perhaps the sword had never left, only waiting for someone willing to seek without fear. Her steps quickened as the whisper grew softer, urging her not with command, but with care. She reached the river at last, its waters shining like glass, carrying the reflection of the moon. The current moved gently, yet the surface stirred with ripples as though stirred by unseen hands. Athena knelt beside the river, watching her reflection dance with the starlight above. In her reflection, she thought she saw not just herself, but a flicker of light within her eye. The voice returned, softer than before, almost hidden in the sound of the moving water. The path begins with listening, not with seeking. Be still, and the way shall open. Athena closed her eyes, letting the night embrace her, surrendering her doubts to silence. The world hushed, the crickets stilled. Even the river seemed to soften into a gentler song. And in that silence, she felt it. An opening, invisible yet undeniable, stretching before her. When she opened her eyes again, the fireflies had gathered, hovering like a trail of stars. They rose from the riverbank and drifted ahead, forming a glowing path into the dark fields. Athena rose to her feet, her heart calm, her spirit alight, her steps steady as she followed. The whisper was gone, but its promise remained, written now inside her very breath. And so, the first part of her journey began, not with a weapon in hand, but with wonder. For the night itself had chosen to guide her, carrying her forward toward the sword of dawn. The morning came gently, brushing the hills with colors of gold and rose, soft as a painter's hand. Athena had walked through the night, and her heart lifted as the horizon began to brighten. The path led her to a valley, where small houses stood close, glowing with lanterns even in daylight. It was the village of lanterns, a place she'd heard about only in faint passing tales. The villagers believed light must never fade, so lanterns burned at every door, every bridge, every path. Children played beneath the warm glow, their laughter mingling with the soft hum of flowing rivers. Elders sat in circles, polishing glass lanterns, treating them like treasures more precious than gold. Athena watched in silence, sensing that this village held a piece of the mystery she sought. A kind woman noticed her and smiled, offering water and bread before asking of her travels. Athena spoke gently, telling of the whispers she had heard, of the promise of the sword of dawn. The woman's eyes widened, for such a tale had lived in the hearts of her people for ages. "Long have we waited," she said softly, "for someone who listens to the sky and follows its call." She led Athena through the village, past lanterns swaying in the soft morning breeze like little suns. Every flame seemed alive, as though carrying a secret, whispering truths no one could quite hear. They came to the square, where a great lantern stood taller than any tree in the valley. It burned with a steady light, though no oil touched its core, a flame eternal and unfading. The villagers called it the heart lantern, believing it to be lit by the dawn itself. Athena gazed at its glow, her chest warming, as though the light recognized her very presence. An elder stepped forward, his robes marked with symbols of stars and rivers, eyes kind yet steady. He greeted Athena not as a stranger, but as one expected, as if her arrival was foretold. "You seek the sword of dawn," he said, his voice deep, carrying weight, yet softened by gentleness. Athena nodded, her voice quiet but firm, for her purpose was clear though her path was unknown. The elder raised his hand toward the heart lantern, its glow brightening as though it hurt him. "The sword cannot be found by eyes alone," he said, "but by hearts that carry light within." He told her that a clue to the sword's resting place was hidden in their ancient song. a melody passed down through generations, sung not with words, but with tones that shaped the air. Athena listened as the villagers gathered, their voices weaving together like threads of morning light. The song rose and fell, gentle as rivers, strong as mountains, endless as the turning sky. She closed her eyes, letting the melody enter her spirit, every note carving itself into her soul. The song was not just music. It was a map, carrying directions not of land, but of spirit. When the last note faded, the elder spoke again, his gaze steady upon Athena's face. The song will guide you through rivers and silence, through trials that ask nothing but patience. Athena thanked them with a bowed head, her heart full, for their trust was a gift beyond measure. The villagers placed a lantern in her hands, small yet glowing with warmth that never dimmed. "This flame will not fade," the elder said, "so long as your purpose remains true and clear." Athena held it close, feeling its light pulse like a heartbeat, steady and alive within her palms. As she stepped from the square, the village watched in silence, their hopes carried with her stride. The path ahead was unknown, yet the lantern's glow assured her she was no longer walking alone. The whisper of the stars was now joined by the song of the village, guiding her onward. And so she left the village of lanterns, her journey deepened by light, both within and without. The sun lingered low, its light spilling gently across hills, guiding Athena deeper into the winding path. The lantern she carried glowed softly, a reminder of the village and the song still alive within her. She followed the trail as it curved through tall grass, where shadows whispered and winds hummed faint tunes. Ahead lay a wooden house, weathered by time, its roof bent, but its windows bright with quiet flame. An old storyteller lived there, known by wanderers as the keeper of songs and forgotten maps. Athena stepped closer, her heart calm yet expectant, for she sensed this place held another part of truth. The door creaked open before she touched it, as though the house itself had been waiting for her. Inside, the air smelled of parchment and pine, and shelves lined the walls with scrolls and worn books. At the center sat the elder, his hair silver, his eyes bright like sparks hidden in deep coals. He welcomed her not with surprise, but with recognition, as if her footsteps had been written long ago. "You have heard the melody," he said gently, "but a song without memory cannot guide far." Athena nodded, her hands resting upon the lantern that pulsed warmly as though it understood. The elder rose slowly and reached for a small lyre, its strings worn smooth by years of touch. He plucked a single note, and the sound shimmered like water rippling across a calm morning lake. "This is the map of echoes," he explained. "A map not drawn with ink, but carried in sound." Athena listened as he played, each note rising like a step, falling like a bend in the road. The melody painted pictures in her mind, mountains crowned with mist, rivers coiling like silver threads. She closed her eyes, and the song became a path, unfolding one turn at a time before her. The elder's voice joined the music, humming wordsless tones that resonated deep inside her chest. It felt as though the earth itself was singing, revealing the hidden lines that bound land and sky. When the final note faded, silence wrapped the room, yet the path still glowed within her spirit. Athena opened her eyes, breath steady, and whispered, "I see it. The melody is a map of light." The elder smiled, his gaze soft yet proud, as though a long-kept secret had found its heir. "Do not try to hold it in memory," he said, "for memory fades, but truth lives in the heart." Athena touched her chest gently, feeling the melody echo still, steady as a second heartbeat within her. The elder placed the lyre aside, and handed her a small wooden charm shaped like a spiral. "This will remind you," he said, "that every song leads not just forward, but inward as well." She accepted it with quiet gratitude, bowing her head, her lantern flickering brighter as if in agreement. The elder then spoke once more, his tone low, almost like a whisper passed through ancient winds. "The sword of dawn does not rest in a single place, but in many. Each step reveals another." Athena felt no fear, only a calm readiness, for the map was now alive inside her. As she stepped outside, the sky had shifted, clouds drifting like sails above seas of golden light. The wind carried faint strains of the melody still, guiding her feet with its invisible thread of song. She walked down the path, the charm in her hand, the lantern steady, her heart open and clear. The house behind her stood quiet, yet she knew its memory would linger like a story unending. And so she followed the unseen song, each step bringing her closer to the next secret of dawn. The road bent toward the east, where the sky opened wide and the earth shimmered with quiet light. Athena carried her lantern and the wooden charm, each step steady as the whisper of the melody remained. She followed the unseen song until she reached a wide river that sparkled like glass beneath the sun. The water stretched far, calm yet restless, reflecting the clouds as if holding two skies within its depths. This was the River of Reflections, a place spoken of in hushed tones by wanderers of old paths. Its surface was said to mirror not only faces, but also the quiet truths hidden within the soul. Athena knelt at the riverbank, her lantern glowing faintly, its light dancing upon the rippling surface. When she gazed into the water, she did not see only herself, but fragments of her thoughts alive. Moments of doubt flickered first, like shadows, whispering that her journey was too vast for her alone. She breathed deeply, refusing to turn away, for the river revealed not to wound, but to awaken. The ripples shifted, showing memories of her village, the laughter of children, the songs by firelight. She felt warmth in her chest, reminded that she carried not just herself, but hopes beyond her own. The reflection grew brighter, unveiling visions of paths ahead, some tangled, some clear, yet all connected. Athena whispered softly, "I am not afraid of shadows, for they only prove the presence of light." Her words steadied the water, calming its ripples until her reflection gazed back, clear and unwavering. Then, a gentle voice rose from the river, not loud, but flowing as if born of the current. "To cross is not to walk, but to see. The bridge lies within your stillness, not your steps." Athena closed her eyes once more, holding the melody of the map of echoes in her heart. The song rose inside her, quiet yet strong, echoing with the rhythm of water and hidden stars. When she opened her eyes, a shimmer stretched across the river, a path made of living light. It was not stone nor wood, but ripples, solidified into brightness, glowing like woven threads of dawn. Athena stepped carefully, the lantern in her hand, glowing in harmony with the shining bridge. Each step deepened her reflection below, showing her not as she was, but as she might become. She saw herself carrying light across valleys, offering it to villages, awakening skies long clouded by silence. She felt no fear, for the river had become both guide and mirror, teaching her to trust. At the center of the crossing, the water rose like a gentle arch, surrounding her in silver mist. She paused, and within the mist appeared faint outlines, shapes of those who had crossed long before. Their voices joined in a chorus of whispers, not commands, but encouragement, tender as morning winds. "You carry what we carried," they said, "and what you awaken will guide those yet to come. Athena bowed her head, honoring their voices, before continuing across the luminous path with steady breath. When she reached the far bank, the bridge dissolved, fading back into the flowing current below. The river sang softly, its surface now calm, reflecting her lantern's flame like a star within water. Athena looked back only once, her heart filled with gratitude, before turning toward the road ahead. The charm at her side pulsed warmly, as if echoing the river's lesson. Clarity comes from within. She walked onward, the horizon opening before her steps guided by light, both seen and unseen. The river of reflections had not tested her with fear, but had offered her a gift of truth. And so she carried its wisdom forward, her spirit brighter, her journey deeper, her purpose unshaken. Beyond the river, the land unfolded into rolling fields, touched with the gold of the rising sun. Athena breathed deeply, feeling the morning wind lift her spirit as though guiding her onward with care. The fields stretched wide, but within them were hidden groves, known as the Gardens of Whispering Leaves. Here, it was said, the trees did not simply grow, but carried voices within their rustling branches. Travelers often avoided the groves, fearing what they might hear when the leaves sang their hidden songs. But Athena knew her path led not away from mystery, but through it, with patience and courage. She entered the first grove, her lantern's glow soft against the pale green light that filtered through. The trees swayed gently, though no wind touched them, their leaves shimmering as though speaking to her. Each step echoed faintly, and with every footfall, the branches leaned closer, their whispers clear and distinct. "Athena," they murmured, calling her name with tones that blended both comfort and question in equal measure. She paused, listening not with her ears alone, but with her heart open to what lay beneath. The whispers grew into patterns, weaving stories of journeys long past, of seekers who walked this way. Some voices were tender, offering encouragement, while others trembled with doubt and unfulfilled longing. Athena bowed her head, acknowledging both the hope and sorrow carried within the grove's endless memory. For the garden did not judge. It only echoed what was carried by those who wandered through. She whispered softly, "I walk not for glory, but for truth. Let your voices guide me forward." The leaves shimmered, responding with a gentle hum, as if the trees themselves bowed in understanding. Suddenly, a narrow path opened before her, leading deeper into the grove toward a circle of light. The air there was warm, filled with the scent of blossoms unseen, a place both sacred and alive. At the center stood an ancient oak, its trunk wide, its branches spanning like arms of eternity. Unlike the others, this tree did not whisper, but remained still, waiting for Athena's approach in silence. She laid her hand upon its bark, feeling warmth pulse as though the tree held a beating heart. A voice rose then, not from the leaves, but from within, calm and resonant like earth itself. "Child of dawn, do you carry the weight of many voices, or the clarity of your own?" Athena closed her eyes, the question circling her mind, testing the depth of her purpose. She thought of her village, the laughter and the songs, the faces filled with gentle expectation. She thought of her own heart, seeking not recognition, but the quiet truth that light was meant to share. "I carry both," she answered at last, "for my voice alone is not enough. But together, they shine." The oak trembled, not in anger, but in approval, its branches raining golden leaves that glowed as they fell. One leaf landed upon her lantern, fusing with its flame, making the light grow warmer and steadier. the voice spoke once more, soft as twilight. Then go, for the path beyond requires the strength of many. The grove grew quiet, its whispers fading, leaving only the steady hum of her lantern's new light. Athena stepped back, bowing before the ancient oak, gratitude deep within her chest like a living fire. The path ahead cleared, the trees parting to reveal a gentle slope leading to the horizon's curve. Her charm pulsed faintly, echoing the blessing of the grove, as though weaving her steps into song. Athena walked on, her lantern glowing brighter, her heart carrying not only her own voice, but many. And so she left the gardens of whispering leaves, carrying wisdom wrapped in silence and strength. Her journey deepened, her spirit stronger, her path lit by voices of past and present in harmony. Athena walked beyond the whispering groves, her lantern glowing steady, the horizon painted with tender hues of dusk. The land rose into gentle hills, their slopes softened by tall grasses swaying like waves upon a silent sea. From the crest of the first hill, she saw a wide expanse where mist drifted low across the earth. This was the Valley of Echoes, a place where every sound returned not once, but many times. Over, legends told that the valley spoke back not only voices, but thoughts hidden in the quiet heart. Athena descended slowly, each step stirring echoes that rolled outward and then returned like soft, layered music. The sound of her lantern flame flickered, its faint hum multiplied until the valley glowed with song. She paused at the center, where stones shaped in circles stood like guardians of forgotten time. When she whispered, "I am here," the valley answered, her voice stretching into countless tones, old and new. Each echo carried a difference, some bright with hope, others heavy with questions she had not spoken aloud. Athena listened carefully, realizing the valley was not repeating her words, but weaving truths within the sound. Her charm pulsed at her side, its rhythm aligning with the countless echoes that drifted all around. The air shimmered, and the stones vibrated, forming harmonies that seemed to awaken the ground beneath. From the echoes rose images, not of light nor shadow, but of memory woven into sound itself. She saw children by riversides, elders beneath stars, journeys like hers unfolding across centuries and forgotten names. The voices spoke together, soft and resonant, forming a chorus that seemed both vast and intimate. Athena, seeker of dawn, why do you walk? What is it you truly seek upon this path? Athena drew a breath, her heart trembling but strong, her gaze steady on the lantern in her hand. I seek not for myself alone, she answered. I seek the light that can awaken hope in all. The valley trembled with resonance, her words multiplying, weaving into harmonies that touched even the silent stones. For a moment, the mist parted, and she saw far ahead a glimmer, faint but unbroken. It was not the sword of dawn, but a sign that her journey was guided by unseen threads. The echoes quieted, and a single voice remained, warm as morning, yet vast as the endless sea. You walk with truth, yet remember, light must not only be carried, but shared, lest it fade. Athena bowed her head, gratitude deep in her chest, her lantern flame steady and brighter than before. She touched one of the ancient stones, feeling it hum softly, like a heartbeat beneath solid earth. It released a faint glow, embedding its resonance into her charm, weaving the valley's wisdom into her path. The mist closed once more, but her steps were clear, the valley no longer a place of mystery. As she leapt, she heard faint echoes behind her, not haunting, but singing as if blessing her way. The hills ahead were dark with night, yet her lantern's flame cut gently through the gathering shadows. Stars unfolded above, countless and eternal, as if watching her with patient eyes that carried silent trust. Athena lifted her gaze, whispering to the sky, "I will carry the light, and I will share it." The wind answered with a quiet sigh, a promise that the dawn she sought was drawing closer. And so she walked onward, her heart steady, her path deepened, her purpose burning brighter than before. Night deepened as Athena crossed the hills, her lantern a steady star against the vast ocean of dark. The wind grew cooler, carrying scents of stone and moss, guiding her toward cliffs carved by timeless waves. Before her stretched the sea of stillness, vast and silver beneath the silent watch of countless stars. Its waters did not move with tide or wind, but lay calm as a mirror holding the sky. Legends said the sea held not storms, but silence, and in that silence truths could be revealed. Athena stepped carefully onto the shore, her reflection shining clear and whole upon the glassy water. When she breathed, the sea echoed softly, her breath rippling across its endless surface in tender rings. She walked along the edge until she found a stone arch rising from the water like a crown. The arch shimmered faintly, carved with runes that glowed whenever her lantern's light touched their silent lines. Athena approached, her heart steady, and placed her hand upon the stone worn smooth by eternity. At her touch, the sea stirred, not in chaos, but in a slow spiral of silver brightness. The water lifted into shapes, forming patterns that rose like living constellations above the still horizon. She saw stories in the lights, journeys of others who had walked paths like hers long ago. Some bore lanterns, some carried songs, some traveled with silence, but all sought the light of dawn. The sea's voice then rose, not with waves, but with tones soft as bells carried upon the wind. Athena, to carry dawn is to bear both silence and song. Do you hold space for both? She lowered her gaze, remembering the valley's echoes, the grove's whispers, the river's reflections, all within her. Yes, she answered softly. For silence deepens my song, and song awakens silence into living truth. The sea shimmered, its lights bending closer, circling her lantern flame like stars drawn into orbit. Her lantern grew brighter, its glow no longer a small flame, but a steady sphere of warmth. The runes upon the arch ignited, casting silver light across the water, forming a bridge of starlight. Athena stepped forward, her feet touching not water nor stone, but light woven into shimmering steps. The sea beneath reflected her as two, her present self and her becoming self walking side by side. Her charm pulsed warmly, sinking with each step, echoing the lessons of silence and harmony together. At the center of the arch, the sea opened, revealing not darkness, but endless light within its depth. It stretched below like a sky beneath the sea, constellations blooming in waves of infinite radiance. The voice spoke once more, carrying tenderness and weight. You walk well, but remember, silence teaches too. Athena bowed her head, carrying the wisdom into her breath, her heart calm as the still sea itself. When she reached the far side, the bridge dissolved, leaving only the soft lapping of silver ripples. The sea grew quiet again, but its stillness now felt like comfort rather than mystery untold. Athena looked back once, whispering thanks, before lifting her lantern high toward the hills that rose ahead. The wind shifted, carrying her steps onward, her flame steady, her spirit calm, yet unbroken in resolve. The sea of stillness had not tested her with storms, but with silence, and silence had blessed her. And so she continued, guided by stars above and light within, her journey flowing like a gentle tide. Athena moved beyond the still sea, her lantern glowing warm, the stars above guiding her into shadowed lands. Ahead rose mountains, tall and dark, their peaks crowned with mist that drifted like silver veils in silence. The path wound upward, narrow and steep, each step carrying her closer to the highlands of forgotten air. Legends called this place the Mountains of Memory, where stone and wind preserved echoes of what once was. The climb tested her strength, with danger, but with silence heavy as the weight of unseen years. Athena's lantern flickered, its glow bouncing off rocks that seemed carved with faint shapes of faces past. Each face was still, eyes closed, as if the mountain itself carried dreams etched upon its surface. She touched the stone gently, and the air stirred, a sigh rising as though memory had awakened. From the cliffs came voices, not loud but layered, speaking as if wind carried them from ancient time. They whispered of choices once made, of paths taken and lost, of journeys like hers etched into stone. Athena slowed her steps, listening, for the mountain did not call in words of command, but reflection. At a narrow ledge she paused, gazing outward where valleys stretched below, shimmering faint in silver haze. Her lantern's light reached far, and in that glow, she saw the outline of her own memories. The laughter of her village, the warmth of shared songs, the first moment she chose to seek. The mountain gave them back to her, not as weight, but as anchor, steadying her in silence. As she climbed higher, the wind grew stronger, carrying not only voices, but fragments of ancient songs. The melody blended with her memory of the map of echoes, forming harmony deep within her chest. Her charm glowed warmly, each pulse syncing with the rhythm of the mountain's long and patient heart. Then, a cavern appeared, its mouth wide, its walls glittering faint with crystal light in the shadows. Athena entered, the sound shifting from wind to resonance, the chamber alive with endless tones of memory. Every sound she had made, every breath she had drawn, returned now, weaving music across the stone. She set her lantern upon the ground, and the crystals responded, glowing in colors rich and tender. In their glow, she saw her journey traced, each step preserved in light, not lost, but carried forward. A voice rose from the cavern, calm and resonant, deep as the mountain's root beneath her feet. Athena, do you see? What is remembered does not bind you, but gives strength to walk ahead. She closed her eyes, breathing deeply, feeling the truth settle within like stone upon solid foundation. Yes, she whispered. I carry my past not as burden, but as song woven into my being. The crystals brightened, showering her lantern with light, until its flame burned steady, golden, and clear. The cavern released its final tone, soft and endless, carrying her vow into the heart of the mountain. When Athena stepped out, the night was deep, but her lantern glowed brighter, steady against the dark. The mountain's wind no longer pressed heavy, but lifted her gently, like wings guiding her toward the peak. She climbed onward, her spirit calm, her path sure, her heart anchored in the harmony of memory. The mountains of memory had not chained her to the past, but had given her strength for tomorrow. And so she ascended, lantern in hand, carrying wisdom bright as dawn, waiting beyond the horizon. Athena climbed higher until the air thinned, cool and sharp, carrying the scent of stone kissed by ancient skies. Above her stretched a ridge, wide and luminous, as though the stars themselves had fallen upon the earth. This was the plateau of stars, a place where sky and land touched without distance, shimmering as one. Her lantern glowed, but here its light mingled with starlight, indistinguishable from the heavens woven into stone. Each step rang softly, as if the ground carried a rhythm that echoed the pulse of the universe. The plateau whispered with silence alive, filled not with emptiness, but with unseen songs waiting to be heard. Athena paused, gazing upward, where constellations shimmered not far, but near, close enough to breathe into her heart. She felt their presence. Stories of heroes, seekers, and wanderers traced across the sky in patterns of light. A sudden breeze stirred, and with it, the stars seemed to shift, aligning into forms that called her. Shapes of paths appeared before her, luminous trails across the plateau, each glowing with its own hue. One path shimmered golden, steady and calm, while another blazed silver, swift and restless as the wind. A third glowed blue, quiet and deep, carrying the stillness of oceans folded into infinite sky. Athena's heart hesitated, for each path felt true, each carrying a promise of discovery and meaning. She closed her eyes, breathing deeply, letting the wisdom of silence and memory guide her choice. Her charm pulsed, echoing harmony, reminding her that journeys are not chosen by haste, but by heart. When she opened her eyes, she stepped upon the golden path, its glow steady beneath her feet. The plateau responded, stars shifting above to mirror her steps, weaving her journey into constellations anew. With each stride, she felt lighter, her lantern burning as if fueled by the very rhythm of sky. The wind carried voices, gentle and bright, not warnings, but songs sung by the stars themselves. They sang of courage born from stillness, of strength found in memory, of dawn awaiting the faithful. Athena listened, her heart swelling, not with pride, but with wonder at the vast harmony around her. She realized the stars were not distant guardians, but companions, walking beside her as luminous friends. At the heart of the plateau, she found a pool of light, shimmering like liquid woven of dawn. She knelt, gazing into its depths, where reflections swirled, past, present, and glimpses of what might come. Her own image appeared, carrying the lantern, steady and bright, walking paths beyond her current knowing. The pool rippled, and the voice of the stars rose, gentle yet vast, carrying both weight and grace. Athena, the path of dawn is not a single line, but many woven into one endless harmony. She touched the surface, her hand glowing with warmth, the light embracing her like a promise unbroken. Her lantern blazed, reflecting golden fire into the sky, and constellations shifted to form a radiant gate. The gate arched above her, woven from countless stars, a passage into realms beyond the plateau's end. Athena stood tall, her steps firm, her heart calm, carrying silence, memory, and harmony within her flame. She crossed beneath the gate, the plateau singing farewell in tones that lingered, bright as silver bells. The stars dimmed gently, returning to their places, but their song remained, echoing within her steady breath. When she descended the far side, night deepened, but her lantern burned with light, born of heaven. The plateau of stars had not demanded choice alone, but had shown her that all paths could unite. And so she walked onward, carrying skies within her heart, and dawn ever nearer in her hands. Athena descended from the plateau of stars, her lantern still glowing bright, carrying harmony born of heaven's song. Ahead stretched a valley, wide and quiet, its fields blanketed with mist that moved like rivers of silver. The land was known as the Valley of Whispers, where the air carried voices softer than a dream. She stepped into the valley, and at once the mist curled around her, cool and tender as breath. From within came murmurs, countless and delicate, each word like dew upon leaves at the edge of dawn. The whispers did not frighten, but invited, as though the valley wished to share secrets long guarded. Athena walked slowly, listening, her heart open, her flame steady, guiding her through the endless sea of mist. She soon realized the whispers were not random, but threads weaving together, forming questions for her spirit. One asked, "Do you know your own heart, or do you seek it in the eyes of others?" Another asked, "Do you carry dawn for yourself alone, or for all who wait beyond the horizon?" Athena paused, breathing deeply, letting the questions rest within her, soft as seeds planted in fertile soil. She answered softly, not aloud, but with her heart. "I walk not for myself alone, but for all." The mist shifted, swirling, revealing faint figures walking beside her, echoes of those who once crossed this valley. Some bore lanterns, some carried songs, others walked in silence, yet all left trails of light behind. The valley whispered again, "Do you fear being forgotten? Or do you trust light will carry your name?" Athena smiled faintly, her lantern warm against her hand. "Names fade, but light lives, and that is enough." The mist glowed brighter, as though the valley itself was pleased, its whispers now soft as a lullaby. Athena continued, guided by voices that were no longer questions, but encouragement, like friends walking by her side. She saw visions in the mist. Her village, her people, their faces turned toward dawn with quiet hope. Their hope was not weight, but gift, reminding her why she carried the flame, why she chose this path. Her charm pulsed warmly, syncing with the whispers, each beat a promise that she was not walking alone. At the valley's heart stood a great tree, ancient and tall, its branches woven with glowing strands of mist. Athena approached, her steps calm, her lantern casting golden light across roots that gleamed like silver rivers. The tree spoke, its voice deep yet tender, carrying centuries within its tone. "Child of dawn, what do you seek?" Athena bowed her head, her voice steady. "Not power, not crown, but a light to guide all hearts." The tree rustled, leaves shimmering with silver fire, and its branches lowered as if in gentle blessing. "You walk with truth," it said. "The sword you seek is not weapon, but reflection of your spirit's flame." From the branches fell a single leaf, glowing golden, drifting into her hands like a gift of dawn. She held it close, and her lantern blazed brighter, its flame dancing with hues of silver and gold. The valley's whispers hushed, as though bowing in silence, their voices fading into harmony that filled the air. Athena lifted the leaf toward her flame, and both merged, light weaving stronger than before, steady and pure. The mist began to clear, revealing the path ahead, brighter, open, stretching beyond the valley's far edge. Athena stepped forward, her heart calm, her lantern alive, carrying whispers of truth into the night beyond. The Valley of Whispers had not tested her with fear, but had given her questions that became strength. And so she walked onward, flame unbroken, her journey leading ever closer to the dawn she carried. Athena descended from the plateau of stars, her lantern still glowing bright, carrying harmony born of heaven's song. Ahead stretched a valley, wide and quiet, its fields blanketed with mist that moved like rivers of silver. The land was known as the Valley of Whispers, where the air carried voices softer than a dream. She stepped into the valley, and at once the mist curled around her, cool and tender as breath. From within came murmurs, countless and delicate, each word like dew upon leaves at the edge of dawn. The whispers did not frighten, but invited, as though the valley wished to share secrets long guarded. Athena walked slowly, listening, her heart open, her flame steady, guiding her through the endless sea of mist. She soon realized the whispers were not random, but threads weaving together, forming questions for her spirit. One asked, "Do you know your own heart? Or do you seek it in the eyes of others?" Another asked, "Do you carry dawn for yourself alone, or for all who wait beyond the horizon?" Athena paused, breathing deeply, letting the questions rest within her, soft as seeds planted in fertile soil. She answered softly, not aloud, but with her heart. "I walk not for myself alone, but for all." The mist shifted, swirling, revealing faint figures walking beside her, echoes of those who once crossed this valley. Some bore lanterns, some carried songs, others walked in silence, yet all left trails of light behind. The valley whispered again, "Do you fear being forgotten, or do you trust light will carry your name?" Athena smiled faintly, her lantern warm against her hand. "Names fade, but light lives, and that is enough." The mist glowed brighter, as though the valley itself was pleased, its whispers now soft as a lullaby. Athena continued, guided by voices that were no longer questions, but encouragement, like friends walking by her side. She saw visions in the mist, her village, her people, their faces turned toward dawn with quiet hope. Their hope was not weight, but gift, reminding her why she carried the flame, why she chose this path. Her charm pulsed warmly, syncing with the whispers, each beat a promise that she was not walking alone. At the valley's heart stood a great tree, ancient and tall, its branches woven with glowing strands of mist. Athena approached, her steps calm, her lantern casting golden light across roots that gleamed like silver rivers. The tree spoke, its voice deep yet tender, carrying centuries within its tone. "Child of dawn, what do you seek?" Athena bowed her head, her voice steady. Not power, not crown, but a light to guide all hearts. The tree rustled, leaves shimmering with silver fire, and its branches lowered as if in gentle blessing. "You walk with truth," it said. "The sword you seek is not weapon, but reflection of your spirit's flame." From the branches fell a single leaf, glowing golden, drifting into her hands like a gift of dawn. She held it close, and her lantern blazed brighter, its flame dancing with hues of silver and gold. The valley's whispers hushed, as though bowing in silence, their voices fading into harmony that filled the air. Athena lifted the leaf toward her flame, and both merged, light weaving stronger than before, steady and pure. The mist began to clear, revealing the path ahead, brighter, open, stretching beyond the valley's far edge. Athena stepped forward, her heart calm, her lantern alive, carrying whispers of truth into the night beyond. The Valley of Whispers had not tested her with fear, but had given her questions that became strength. And so she walked onward, flame unbroken, her journey leading ever closer to the dawn she carried.